the further that we progress through this video, the more you're going to notice that I do have stacks and stacks of homeless books around here that are going to be coming into view as we get through this stack. And instead of finding a solution for that, instead we're going to be unboxing some more books today. So to be fair, the issue is that it's all of my birthday haul books and all of last month's unboxing, and since I came back from New York I just haven't bothered to find the time to put them all into my spreadsheet so that I can get them all onto my shelves. But we are going to be adding to that pile today, making it even more of an imposing task as we get through my May boxes. So we do have a couple of Fairyloot special edition sets that are really bulking out this unboxing. I ordered these like way back in probably like October, November time in 2021, and they have just arrived, but thankfully the special editions are all books that I've already read, so I'm not adding to my TBR. But aside from that, we do have the usual suspects. Speaking of Fairyloot, we have the regular monthly young adult box and also the adult book only box, which were both sent to me to show to you guys on my channel by the lovely team over at Fairyloot. So thank you very much to Fairyloot for that. If you are unfamiliar with Fairyloot, they are a UK based bookish subscription service, and they have a young adult fantasy box that comes with a brand new hardback release in an exclusive edition, plus a selection of bookish goodies. And they also have the adult subscription, which is book only, so you just get the hardback book in an exclusive edition, and that is it. On top of that, we have the Afterlight by Illumicrate, which is the romance subscription. This one I do pay for. It is bi-monthly, and you get a brand new romance release in an exclusive edition with a handful of more like self-care items. And we also have the regular monthly Illumicrate, which is a sci-fi, fantasy, new adult-ish range monthly book subscription where you get a brand new hardback release in a exclusive edition and a selection of bookish goodies. So for the Illumicrate, I do have a discount code. My code is Becca5, and that will get you a discount on a 3 or 6 month subscription. And finally, our last box is the Locked Library by HarperCollins, which they once again sent in 2 boxes for absolutely no reason. This one is a book only subscription by HarperCollins or Harper Voyager, which is their fantasy imprint, and every month you get a brand new hardback fantasy, or I'm not sure if they do sci-fi, I think they do, in an exclusive edition, and these editions so far have been absolutely stunning. I do pay for this one myself as well. So we normally start off with Locked Library, but this time I think we're going to start off with the Illumicrates. We'll go with the Afterlight. I don't think I've been spoiled. I have been a little bit spoiled, I think, for at least the YA Fairyloot, but I'm not sure about anything else that's in this stack. I know that the theme for July's Illumicrate has been teased, but I don't remember any of those details anyway. The spoilers for this box are here if you guys would like to pause and take a look. As usual, I will be going in blind. So our first self-care item in here is a bubble bar, which is something that I will use. It is by Scent, and it is called Fizzy Feelings. The fragrance on this is jasmine, ylang-ylang, gardenia, lavender and vanilla, which, yeah, it's quite a floral. It's very, I feel like a typical kind of bath scent that you would get. As well as that, we also have, is this a passport cover? It is! I've actually just put my new passport in my previous, I think it was a Illumicrate passport cover. This one says, "You are my greatest adventure, always and forever," which I think is quite a cute quote for a passport cover. And I do use passport covers, even though they are kind of pointless because you have to take your passport out. I do still use one. And then we have a letter from the author of this month's book on the back. Oops. On the back of this art, which is really pretty and matches the cover. Oh, this is Christina Lauren's new book. I feel like I should have known that. Did they do an add-on? I feel like they did an add-on where you could have got another Christina Lauren book in this box for like an additional fee. I have a few Christina Lauren books and I haven't read any yet, but this one is of course an exclusive cover, so I will overlay the original over the top so that you guys can see the difference. The edges on here are for sure exclusive, and it is signed by Christina Lauren, which is interesting because they're actually a writing duo and that does kind of look like one signature. And we also have some dandelions under the dust jacket. So the back of this one says, there's a universe expanding my ribcage, stars and planets, and all kinds of dangerous sparkling debris that could destroy me. And I actually, because I haven't read anything from Christina Lauren yet, I'm obviously not keeping on top of their new releases, so I will read the synopsis of this one for you guys. It says, they're crafting the perfect Hollywood romance for the screen, but the chemistry behind the camera might be the real story. I actually really love romance books that focus on famous people or like fake famous people. I know a lot of people don't like that trope, but I really do. Felicity Fizzy Chen is lost. Sure, she has an incredible career as a beloved romance novelist with numerous bestsellers to her name, but when she's asked to give a commencement address, it hits her. She hasn't been practicing what she's preached. She hasn't been in love. In lust, sure, but that swoon-worthy can't stop thinking about him all-encompassing feeling, nope. And suddenly the optimism she's encouraged in her readers starts to feel like a lie. Connor Prince, documentary filmmaker and single father, loves that his work allows him to live near his daughter. Then his profit-minded boss orders him to create a reality TV show, putting it all in jeopardy. Desperate to find his romantic lead, a chance run-in with an exasperated Fizzy offers Connor the perfect solution. What if he could show the queen of romance herself falling head over heels? But when production on the true love experiment begins, Connor wonders if that perfect match will ever be on the cue cards for him too. Sounds good. I did get a Christina Lauren paperback box set recently, like this year, that I'm excited to dive into because I've heard amazing things. So I guess I'm just adding this one to my Christina Lauren TBR. I really, really like this cover though in this edition from Illumicrate. So moving on to the monthly Illumicrate, I think the book for this was announced ahead of time. So when they announced like the theme card, they also announced what the book was going to be, and I for sure remember that it was on the spoiler insert on last month's box, because they do that occasionally. Like if the book is something that they think a lot of people will like, they will say, hey, just so you know, this book is going to be in whichever month's subscription. And I think it's the new Martha Wells book, which I'm really interested in because I haven't read the Murderbot series, but wait, is that even this one? Yeah, it is. I haven't read the Murderbot series by Martha Wells, and I'm always cagey about paying for novellas unless I know I like the author, because like it's a lot of money for something so small that you might not like, you know? So if I like this, then I will definitely be looking into the Murderbot series, which I've heard amazing things about anyway. But the theme for this month is What Lies Beneath. Here are the spoilers if you would like to take a look. But I'm gonna dive right in, and straight up we have a plant pot, which is really cool. It says the halfway plant pot, and it's in like a really pretty box. I don't know what this is inspired by. Based on the art, I kind of want to say like, is it The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, or potentially The Luminaries by Susan Dennard? Neither. It's House of Hollow, so I was completely wrong. Oh, it's really pretty though. That is a very cute pot. I'm really, really happy with this. I will actually use it. I have a lot of baby succulents that are coming up, which are currently the only plants that I can keep alive. I don't know what happened last winter, but my ivies and my monstera are not bouncing back as well as they typically do. They haven't survived the winter as well as they typically do. But my succulents are just sprouting children everywhere, so at least there's that. You win some, you lose some. But the next item in here is a metal bookmark. I do really like Illumicrate's metal bookmarks. They have like cool little intricate cutouts in them. This one is inspired by the book of the month, which is The Witch King, and I didn't realize, actually, I haven't looked into this book ahead of time, but I didn't realize that it was like based on the water. We also have, I think that's a heart. That's like the little dangly charm on it. So that is very pretty, and even though I have 500,000 bookmarks, you will never hear me complaining about getting a new one. We have a fabric item. Oh, it's a book bag. I love these by Illumicrate. These are, there's one down there that has my graphic novels in. Essentially, they're now just overspill bins for some of my hardback books. I think this is the fourth one that I've received. Sadly, I don't have enough surfaces in my house, so I'm running out of places to put the actual bags. Hey baby. But I do really like them, and it seems like a me problem. I need to get more tables. But the quote on this is, wishes are false, hope is true, hope makes its own magic. And that is from, is it Daughter of Smoke and Bone or is it Strange the Dreamer? Based on the design of this, I want to say that it is Daughter of Smoke and Bone, because we have a paintbrush and a wing here. I haven't read that series yet, but I do love Strange the Dreamer, and I don't think it's that one, but this will also come in handy. So far I can definitely say, don't eat that. Don't eat that. This is a very, very strong box from Illumicrate. We also had this, which kind of, oh, it's a pop socket. I could actually really do with one of these right now. This one, I want to know what it's inspired by. Oh, The Whispering Dark by, is it Kelly Armstrong? I might be wrong on that, but like I remember, I have the book cover in my mind. But it has a really pretty moth design, and it says a paper moth. He was a paper moth in the dark, and she was a light. I feel like it's a long time since I've had a pop socket in a box as well. There was a time when they were pretty regular. And then lastly, we are down to the book of the month, which is going to be hopefully a beautiful exclusive edition. I'm not actually super familiar. I should look it up what the regular cover looks like. Oh, I remember. And the Illumicrate edition. I don't have my glasses on and I haven't had my eye surgery yet. So I can't see a thing. But this is very similar to the original cover. I think, does it have a little bit of a colour tint on it? No, I think it's just the foiling on the actual cover that's different in the title. But we do have stenciled edges here. We have art on the end papers. Oh, it's different on both sides as well. And there is very, very pretty foiling on the naked hardcover here. It is signed by the author, but Martha Wells' signature, like, wow. Wow. I mean, it saves us some time, I guess, but the synopsis on this says, after being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing of time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai waits to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well, but why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination, and why does the Rising World Coalition appear to be growing in influence? Kai will need to pull his allies close and draw on all his pain magic if he is to answer even the least of these questions. He's not going to like the answers. I feel like this is half a synopsis. Like, I feel like that tells me nothing, which is what, I mean, I'm intrigued, but I feel like that gives me nothing. I mean, that's the point. I guess it's to make you curious about what exactly is going on there. But I am very excited to pick up something from Martha Wells because I've heard generally really good things. So down in the comments, let me know what your favorite item from this month's box is. I gotta say, it's super, super hard for me, but I do think I really like the plant pot in this one. All of these items I'm going to use. This is going to come in handy. I do, like I said, need a pop socket in the minute, so worked out really well for me. Next up, we'll go for the locked library, I guess, because when we start doing Fairyloot, we've got all of the big special edition boxes to get through. So the locked library for this month, it did say on the invoice what the book was, but I've forgotten. I am super, super impressed by the editions that locked library have been doing, and also Harper Voyager, which is HarperCollins' fantasy imprint, is one of the imprints that I read the most from because they do tend to publish some of the, I guess in my opinion, because it comes down to personal taste, the best fantasy, or also I guess some of the most popular fantasy authors. Oh, this is super pretty. Oh, I remember, this is like a gothic fantasy, I think, and it's called All the Dead Lie Down by Kyrie Macaulay. The front says grief haunts this house and it is not alone. I will of course overlay the original cover over the top so you can see the difference. The edge is a really pretty printed one with a moon on there. I feel like the colorway has definitely been changed on this with how blue it's tinted. Under the dust jacket we have some foiling, and are we signed? We have a letter and a signature bound in from the author, and also the ribbon that comes on every locked library book. So all I really know about this is that it is like a gothic-y fantasy. It has been published by Magpie, which I'm pretty sure is HarperCollins' new YA fantasy imprint, so I would assume that this is YA. The synopsis says the sleeping house was very much awake. Days after a tragedy leaves 17-year-old Marion Blythe alone in the world. She receives a surprising invitation from Alice Lovelace, an acclaimed horror writer and childhood friend of Marion's mother. Alice offers her a nanny position at Lovelace House, the family's coastal Maine estate. Marion accepts and soon finds herself minding Alice's peculiar girls. Thea buries her dolls one by one, hosting a series of funerals, while Wren does everything in her power to drive Marion away. Then Alice's eldest daughter returns home unexpectedly. Evie Hallowell is every bit as strange as her younger sisters, and yet Marin is quickly drawn in by Evie's compelling behaviour and ethereal grace. As Marin settles in, she can't escape the anxiety that shadows her. Dead birds appear in Marin's room, the children's pranks escalate, and something dangerous lurks in the woods. All is not well at Lovelace's house, and Marin must unravel its secrets before they consume her. Sounds very good to me. It's given the, what's the 12 Dancing Princesses one? House of Salt and Sorrows. It's given that kind of atmosphere, I feel, although very different story. These editions are very pretty. It's going to be a very, very attractive month for subscription box books, I feel. So cracking into the Fairyloot, I don't think I've been spoiled for the adult, so we'll go for the YA, which is funny actually because the adult one I think arrived a lot earlier than the YA one did. I know that the cover way on this one, I tried not to look at it too much because I tried not to be spoiled, but I'm pretty sure it's got a black and white colorway. But I will show you guys the, oh, I'm gonna have to dig for the spoiler card here. Can I dig without being spoiled? There's some interesting feeling things in here, I can tell you that. The theme for this month is Feuding Gods. Oh my god, this is the one. Is this the mythology themed box that's fandom neutral? I think it is. Illumicrate did one of these a few months ago, so it's going to be interesting to compare the two, but here are the spoilers if you'd like to pause and take a look. I should not be looking at those. What am I doing? The first thing we have is one of these little trays from Fairyloot. I have one of these in the bathroom to put all of my skincare in, and I've got one on my dressing table that I haven't found like a specific purpose for yet, but this one says Ad Astra per Aspera, which if I remember correctly, I know that this is fandom neutral, but this is, it's a Red Rising quote as well. I think it means like to the stars through difficulties, or like through hardship to the stars, or something like that. So even though it is like more mythology themed, it's also Red Rising themed in my eyes, and you can't go wrong with a Red Rising item. Next up we have a pin which says that it is a Valkyrie helmet pin, and it is exactly what it says on the tin, and it is very, very pretty. I'm very ambivalent towards mythology. I like it, it's cool, I think it's super interesting, especially from the theological standpoint that we regard it as something fantastical and mythological when once upon a time it was a religion. In my opinion, that makes it no different from any other religion, and I think that's interesting to think about, but that's pretty much my favourite aspect of mythology, and I love me a good retelling, but I definitely appreciate the beauty of mythological inspired items. We also have this cute wooden postcard, which is like a little decorative item. It says from Olympus, and then it has like the 2 is blank. Is this going to be like a new collectible item from Fairyloot? It doesn't say that it is, but it would be kind of cool if there was a collection of these potentially. It just says send greetings from the land of the gods with our wooden postcard featuring art of an imagined Mount Olympus. We also have, oh, we have a new bag. There is, it's not there anymore. It was hanging on the door, but I've had a Fairyloot bag that's like this before that has like leather bound books on it. It's like a warm toned brown classic library kind of vibe, whereas this one is, oh, it is still Fairyloot books, but it's all like mythology retellings. That's really cool, and I like the color palette of this one more than the other one because I'm not a warm earthy toned girl. I do prefer my cool tones. I know I do normally complain about a tote bag because I have hundreds, but when I was in New York I bought myself 2 more, so I feel like I can no longer complain about receiving tote bags without being a massive hypocrite, and I do use them. The last item I think we have in here is a very pretty notebook. It could be a reading journal though, so I will look. No, it is a lined notepad. It is very beautiful. I have severe commitment issues when it comes to stationery, so I hoard my stationery more than use it, but it is very pretty and it has a gilt edge. And then finally, before we get to the book, we have the tarot cards of the month. So in every Fairyloot you will receive 2 tarot cards. The idea is that by the end of however long it takes to build a deck of tarot, you will have a deck of tarot, and they all have fictional characters on them. Ooh, I don't know who these are at all. I think that these are potentially characters from the book of the month based on the author name. They are the 7 and the 8 of stars, and the book of the month is indeed a Rebecca Ross book, and it is black and white, and that's all I can tell you. So in this bag we should also have the monthly bookmark with the spoiler card art on. We also have a letter from the author on the back of this art print, which is really pretty. I like that. I feel like the tarot cards and this are giving World War II vibes more than mythology, so I'm really interested to read the synopsis of this book. And then we also have the monthly fairy scoop. This has a very pretty edge on it, and it is indeed by Rebecca Ross, but the book is Divine Rivals. It's very pretty, and I will overlay the original cover over the top so you guys can see the difference. There's something about this, I don't know if it's the gold against the black and the white, that I really love. I would say combined with the printed edges, this is maybe one of the prettiest Fairyloot editions in my opinion. We also have foiled end pages in here that are the same on both sides. It is signed by the author, and under the dust jacket we have some, we have very pretty foiling. The back says 2 rivals, 2 stories, 2 hearts and 1 fate, and the inside synopsis says when 2 rival journalists, that's why the letters, find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. All 18-year-old Iris Winnow wants to do is hold her family together. With a brother forced to fight on behalf of the gods now missing from the front line and a mother drowning her sorrows, Iris's best bet is winning the columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. But when Iris's letters to her brother fall into the wrong hands, those of the handsome but cold Roman Kit, her rival at the paper, an unlikely magical connection forms. Expelled into the middle of a mystical war, typewriters in tow, can their bond withstand the fight for the fate of mankind and most importantly love? It is an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. This is potentially one of the most interesting young adult fantasy synopses I've read in a very long time. I don't know if I'm gonna love it, because it depends, I feel, how we have this melding of like magic and the journalist kind of thing, especially because it does seem to be a smidge historical, but it definitely sounds intriguing, so I am interested in giving this one a try. I would say that this is a strong box from Fairyloot. It's not one of my favorites overall because I'm just not the biggest mythology person, but I definitely, like with the Illumicrate one, I appreciate the aesthetic of all of the items, and my favorite item from this box I think is going to be the tote bag, so for sure let me know down in the comments what your favorite item from this box is. Moving along to the adult Fairyloot, which I feel like I should know what this is, and if I do I have solidly forgotten, but the theme for this one is pretty gothic-y potentially. It is Kiss or Kill, also giving me like vampiric vibes maybe, but the book is orange. It has very orange pages. It is, which way does it go? This way. It looks very beautiful. Ooh, what are you? The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis? I haven't heard of this book at all, but I know that this is a completely reworked cover, so I will overlay the original over the top. It's gorgeous. I love it. We have an ombre edge on here. The end papers, beautiful, stunning, 10 out of 10, and are different on each side. It looks romancy, so I'm already down, but under the dust jacket, some very pretty foiling, which is giving, I feel, Mary Pearson vibes with the like her previous cover art. I think it's her, it might be somebody else, but the synopsis on this is a brief one. It is signed as well, and it says, has she been sent to save the realm or destroy it? A spy master to the queen, Aya's blood oath ensures she protects those she fights alongside, including Will, the queen's enforcer and Aya's bitter rival. When rumors of dark magic arise in a nearby kingdom, both are sent to investigate. But when Aya's power acts beyond her god's given affinity, she risks being turned into a weapon in a war she doesn't know how to win. And when her relationship with Will unexpectedly shifts, neither knows the danger that will follow. Sounds good to me. All I need to know is that it has a romance plotline in here and it's fantasy, and I'm sold. And I love me like a character art cover. I keep picking them up in bookshops. There was one in Barnes & Noble I was looking at because I'm drawn to the really nice like illustration. So moving on to our special edition boxes, I have 2. I think this one, is this the one we want to open first? Yeah, this one, I feel like I'm least excited for this one, which you may think is weird because this is a special edition of like my favorite book of all time and it's slightly disappointing sequel. But this one I'm not as hyped about as the other set. This is also the smaller set of the 2. But she heavy. I also have no room on my author shelf for this author. I mean, I have 2 shelves for this author now and there isn't any room on either. And this is not the only special edition set that I have of these. How's she diddly doing? Ooh, oh my god, they're like cellophane wrapped as well. I kind of don't want to uncellophane them, but I also obviously at the same time do. Oh, this is always dangerous. So this is the Fairyloot special edition set of House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I did get the Illumicrate ones as well. I regret nothing. I don't love the direction the series is going in right now, but House of Earth and Blood does remain to be my favourite book. So I had to, you know, I normally try to pick one special edition of books that I'm interested in, but I couldn't. It's Sarah J Maas, I was obviously going to get both. But we have the moon phases on the edges of these. We have redesigned covers, gorgeous end papers. I'm not going to show you any end papers that are spoilery, if there are any. My god, Rain and Hun. I adore this book so much. And they do, of course, come in slip cases. And then for House of Sky and Breath, which doesn't want to come out, once again, has a reworked cover. On this one, I still don't think that's spoilery. And those ones, I'm not sure how I feel about this character art. It's not matching what I had in my brain. Oh my god, I forgot about Under the Dust Jacket. How could I? How could I? That was like one of the main things why I was like, okay, I need the Fairyloot set. It was for this character stuff on the naked hardcover. I know we have a release date on book 3 now. I have very mixed feelings. I have very mixed feelings. I'm scared of that book. I often get like this with the last book in series that I really love, where I'm just, I really procrastinate on the final book because I'm scared of it being over. And in the case of like this series in particular, I'm also pretty scared of just generally finding out what's gonna happen. I love me some foil. I will not be reading these copies. These are collector's pieces. They are truly gorgeous. And then the other set that we have is an old fave. I was torn about this. I was like, Becca, you don't need it. Because I like my paperback versions of this. I picked them up in, like, I have the US editions. And for the first 2 books, I specifically, like, picked them up from, I think it was Florida when I went there in 2016. So I have, like, I guess a connection, an emotional, sentimental connection to the paperback. So this isn't even going to be, like, a replacement of my paperback set. This is literally just going to be another set of these books. But from what I remember when I ordered these, it was really gorgeous. I mean, all Fairyloot editions are gorgeous, so obviously it was a gorgeous edition. But I caved. They have a navy sprayed edge, which is really just like a beautiful colour. Oh, the foiling be-foiling, guys. Did I know that the edges looked like this? Ah, sorry. Sorry. I need to get them all out so I can show you how the spines line up. Oh, they're so shiny. This is so many books. Why do I do this to myself? I have no space. But this is, can I line them up correctly? This and this one is the Lunar Chronicles set by Marissa Meyer, which when you line them all up, I don't think I knew this when I ordered them, but when you line them up, they all join together. The edges on these, I will just flip them around and show you them all at once. They have like the symbol of each character. You guys don't know about the Lunar Chronicles. It's like a sci-fi retelling of a bunch of fairy tales. So we have Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White. And the Fairyloot editions, what else do we... Oh my god. Look at that art. That is gorgeous. Are these ones signed? They are signed. They're all signed by Marissa Meyer as well. They're the 10th anniversary edition. I'd say this isn't the smoothest foil print I've ever seen, but I'm assuming that it's because it's holographic, that it's a little bit more temperamental. Look! Damn, I'm due a reread of this series. They're just so quick and fun and immersive. And then the final one for winter. Oh my god. I wish that I could go back and read like the Lunar Chronicles and I guess Vampire Academy and like the Mortal Instruments for the first time and feel the way that I felt about them. at the time, Red Queen as well. But I can't. I have absolutely no regrets, especially that end paper art I think is my favourite element of that special edition. So that was everything. That was a lot. Let me know down in the comments what your favourite special edition I've opened in this one is. I am just going to hold up the stack of monthly boxes because obviously I knew what the Crescent City and the Lunar Chronicles set looked like when in theory I knew. They still shocked me because I'd forgotten, but I had seen them before, whereas these ones were all surprises. I think of these 5, I really love the cover of this one. I like the character art, but I think in terms of favourite edition, there's just something about the foiling on top of the black and white of this that I really like. So this one potentially is my favourite edition of the 5. Look at that really pretty stack of edges. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and of course a big thank you to Fairyloot and Illumicrate for the boxes that they sent for me to show to you guys in this video. You guys are the best and continue to be the best. But if you would like to get your hands on any of the boxes in this video, the links to their websites and all of their social media, as well as any discount codes I have, will be in my description box for you guys to go ahead and check them out. But aside from that, guys, please don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna. If you head into my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish Candle website, the Etsy for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today, guys. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.